If we want to take our drawing up to the next level, then working on a neglected aspect of drawing is a great way to do that. And that's what I want to explain in this video, particularly for people who've started relatively recently but have worked at their drawing enough to reach a certain level but feel that they're stuck in a certain place, in a certain rut, and can't seem to push beyond to creating more effective artworks, where there's a certain level of skill achieved, but there's now a sameness, going over the same ground over and over again. Let me give you this idea of of a neglected part of drawing that may just be the thing to catapult you up easily into a new way of thinking and of drawing. It certainly worked this way for me. Watching a video of a drawing happening such as what you're seeing now makes it easy to focus on the line work, on the shapes, the angles, the marks, the hatching, how the scene is coming to life through the ink on the paper. And as an artist ourselves, it's easy as we look at this to be really focused on these technical skills and the way they're being used and the result that's happening from them, because we want to understand how has the artist drawn this so that I can draw it myself if I want to. But for all the importance of that, and for all the understandability of why when we watch videos we would be doing that, the real success, I believe, of this drawing and of all drawings lies elsewhere. It lies in what happens before the pen hits the paper. It lies in a certain mindset that happens, that if we've neglected it, to now start to embrace this will really push our drawing forwards. The success lies in a drawing that is worth drawing. A mediocre scene drawn well, it'll at best look mediocre. But a drawing that has the potential in some way to grab my attention if it's done well, a drawing that will, in the end, be so effective that I'm not really focused on the techniques, because it's the overall scene that the techniques create that grabs my attention. Now this has the potential to be a great subject, to be a great drawing, where it's not the hatching, but it's the light, or the coolness, or the grandeur, or the crowdedness, or the elegant simplicity, or the pathos of the scene that's been created that grabs my attention, that pulls me down as an observer into the drawing. That's what's important to be able to create, to produce, because this is what produces the scene itself. The actual techniques, the technical skills, have become secondary in my goal to the overall visual impact or visual drama of what I've drawn. But I can't create this visual drama, this visual impact, if I haven't seen it first myself. Either seen it in the reference I've chosen or see it from the reference in my imagination. So if I feel my drawing has settled into a rut, into feeling very ordinary, the problem may not be lack of drawing skills, and therefore focusing on somehow improving my drawing skills, working harder at this technique, that technique, may not actually give me much improvement, much change at all, because it's not actually my problem. If my problem is that I'm drawing pretty ordinary scenes that I'm choosing too easily or too mindlessly, that are best going to look ordinary, then it doesn't matter how good my technical skills are, my drawing is going to end up looking ordinary at best. Now, I'm not saying that every scene or object that we draw, every subject that we pick up a pen for, has to somehow have the drama of a widescreen CGI blockbuster movie. But even in a single flower stem, we need to arrange what we draw and how we draw it so that it holds a certain drama or elegance, a certain revelation of some characteristic of what it is, and more importantly, of what we are seeing and trying to say, to show, to create in how we depict it through our drawing techniques. See, this is the crucial stage of a drawing we so often neglect. Perhaps we've seen it as less important than the technical, technique-driven aspects of drawing. But everything good in our drawing comes from when we choose scenes to draw where we see or we feel something to capture or create in our drawing. If we don't do this, if we limit our goal to reproducing something that we see, then what we're going to draw is likely going to be at best quite ordinary. Far more helpful to aspire to more than reproducing, but to capturing not just accurate forms in our drawing, but capturing a feel, an emotion, an effect, and as I said before, even to create more than what is in our reference. This is the stage where our drawing techniques are no longer the end goal. I'm not trying to crosshatch correctly. I'm trying to create a certain mood or effect through value in my drawing, and crosshatching becomes a tool, a means of doing that. I'm not worried about doing it correctly. I'm worried about doing it in whatever way will create the effect that I hold in my mind that I want to see in my drawing. And if I choose subjects that excite me, that capture my attention in some way, that create or evoke feeling in me, I now have a focus going beyond technique, going beyond copying form. I now have something that will focus, will guide, will rally, will give direction to everything I know about how to draw, to make the best choices of what skills I will use and how I will combine them in a way for a greater result than mere reproduction. So I really do need to choose a subject to draw that in some way speaks to me. As I said, it doesn't have to be a grandiose speaking. It can be a simple enjoyment of elegance, of balance, of value. But if I'm going to do that, I need to sit with my reference for a bit and ask myself, what am I attracted to in this? Why did I pick up this reference? Why did I think, yes, I could draw that? What was I seeing in this that made me think this is a worthwhile investment of the next 30, 60, 90 minutes? And then to go beyond that to what can I draw from this reference? How can I, if you like, exaggerate the seed of what attracts me and let it grow into something even more arresting? I need to find the purpose for my drawing, the aim, what I want to create for others to see. If I'm to have any chance of creating it, I need to see it clearly myself. It's this higher aim for my drawing that will guide my actual ink on the paper drawing and take my drawing, I believe, to a higher level. So often what keeps my drawings looking ordinary is that I've made reproducing my aim. I've made accuracy of form my aim, rather than have a purpose where accuracy of form may or may not suit that purpose, and I draw accordingly. I feel that every drawing is a demonstration of being able to handle techniques correctly, instead of using those techniques as servants to create something which goes beyond them. When we learn to draw, it's natural to focus on learning skills and learning the right way to do things. Rules are made to be broken, but we need to learn them before we can break them. But in fact, in the end, everything becomes a tool, and the more ways we understand how these tools can be used, the more choices we can make to choose the best tool for the job that we have at hand, for what we're trying to create in our finished drawing. We need to have a higher purpose though than just survival drawing, as I think of it, than just accuracy. We need to go beyond this, because then we really do understand there is no right or wrong way to draw anything. There's therefore no more formula drawing, which does create a sense of sameness. Every mark, every line, every choice is driven by the purpose I've already worked out for my drawing, for the visualization of my finished drawing that I've had in my head that's become my real reference before I've started to draw. So let's stop grabbing photos and thinking, oh, this'll do, and instead sit with a possible reference for a bit and think, what's made me even pick this up? What's there, or what could be there? How could my finished drawing look? How can I capture or exaggerate or even create from scratch something I can see or imagine or feel in this reference, and hopefully connect with people who look at my drawing in a way that I've connected with the scene in my mind. As I mentioned before, I start to imagine looking at my finished drawing, and it's this finished drawing in my head which actually becomes my real reference, not the photo or the scene in front of me. That becomes part of my reference, but my real reference is my visualized finished drawing. Using this way of thinking creates so much possibility for me in my finished work that even if I'm only half successful in capturing what I've imagined, it's probably still going to be far more interesting than fully capturing a very ordinary intention of merely copying a photo. G'day, I'm Stephen Travers. I hope you found this helpful, interesting. I remember when I consciously began to switch from trying to draw an accurate copy of a drawing to actually seeing something in this drawing that made me need to go beyond what I was just seeing to bring out in my drawing. That would give me a focus to guide what techniques I used and how I used them, what materials I used, what size I drew, the amount of detail I did or didn't draw, the focus I put on certain parts of the drawing or on no parts of the drawing. All of these decisions became so easy for me, I discovered, once I had a clear view of what sort of impact I was wanting my drawing to have at the end, how I was wanting my drawing to speak to people looking at it. So if this isn't a way you've thought when you've drawn, if you tend to grab a photo and say, this'll do, if you haven't sat and pondered, what am I trying to achieve, and visualized your finished drawing, let me suggest you give it a go and see if it doesn't push your drawing up to a higher level. But look, in the end, whatever you draw, however you draw it, however it ends up looking, make sure you have fun. I'll see you next time. Bye.